dude, what you've been able to do with Foundr is nothing short of stellar. So is Foundr doing as well as it looks to be doing on the surface, or is it still a struggle?
Hey guys, it's 8 a.m. Friday morning, and we've got to do 4 podcast episodes pretty much back to back, so like 4 hours straight. I'm actually being interviewed for a podcast. I've got some incredible interviews lined up. I want to show you the behind the scenes of what that looks like. You get some interesting snippets of this is what it looks like to run the magazine, podcast, etc., etc. We've got an interview with the founder of ManyChat, who I've got a call right now. If someone's interviewing me, we're interviewing the founder of Hinge, 3 back to back. All right, guys, now let's jump in. Hey, Mike, it's Nathan from Foundr Magazine, just calling for our interview. Yeah, I look forward to chatting. Okay, so he hasn't answered. This can happen. I just left a voicemail. I will now send an email to the partnerships person that set this up, and also Mike. Hey guys, I'm ready when you are.
How often do people no-show?
Oh, look, not that often, but this can happen, and it has happened many times. I guess because we're dealing with people that run like billion-dollar companies, and it's funny when you think about it. Here I am in my home office, got all this crap everywhere. Sometimes it happens. We can just chill out in the family room, man, have a good chat for half an hour ourselves. I don't reckon this one's happening. Been doing this a while now. Like I said, don't usually get stood up, but it does happen, and it's definitely no fault of the person. Usually something comes up or calendar misschedule, but look, I've been waiting for 5 minutes now, so it's not looking good. We got a couple more, so we'll just wait for the next few, guys. Oh, he's gone. Hello.
Hey Nathan, it's Mike.
Hey Mike, how you doing?
Is it going to be, can we push this half an hour?
Look, no, it's all good, Mike. Look, I'm sure we'll be able to find a mutually beneficial time. I do have, I do have some time in the next couple of weeks.
How about this? If I call you back in 13 minutes?
Sorry, maybe it was a language, because, Australia. Did you say 30 minutes or 13? 1-3. All right, speak soon. All right, ciao. All right, that was interesting. So, really lovely guy, Mike, he CEO of ManyChat. I'm pretty sure they are a $1 billion company. He's called me and said, hey Nathan, I've been traveling for like 2 months and I haven't seen the team, and this interview was scheduled months ago. I know it was scheduled months ago, so are we able to reschedule, postpone, or I'll call you back in like 13 minutes? That usually doesn't happen. And let me actually give ManyChat a little bit more of a look up.
What time's the interview straight after?
So I've got another one at 9:30. We should have time. So he's going to call me back in about 15 minutes. That brings it to 8:25. So we'll have time. So I just did this awesome interview with Mike Yang, CEO, co-founder of ManyChat. These guys are the leaders in like messenger marketing. So you would probably see now on Facebook Messenger, companies and or personal brands can talk to you, ask you questions, prompt you, all sorts of things, kind of like email marketing automation. Really, really fascinating interview. What was interesting is we talked about mindset, and that's something that I don't know, when I interview founders, they don't really talk about that, but when I speak to friends, like really successful founders that are friends, that's something I actually talk to them about a lot. And I think when you think about, whatever your goals are, let's just say you want to build $1 million a year company, I know that half the battle is actually believing you can do it. And I really remember that, like when I was back in the day working in my day job, just started Foundr. Oh yeah, forgot to mention, it's Foundr's official 7th birthday today.
Oh really?
Yeah, crazy.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. So anyways, coming back to those days, 7 years ago now, 6 years ago, crazy to think about it. I used to think to myself, I hope that I could build Foundr up enough so I could work on it full time. But then the more and more I started hanging out with people that were actually doing it, working on their business full time, generating an income, the more and more I was just surrounded by seeing people do it, the more I believed it wasn't a matter of I hope, if, it was a matter of when. And that mindset shift just changed everything. And it's crazy what can be accomplished in 6-7 years. Sorry, man, I lost track of time.
That happens when you are an entrepreneur. Is Foundr doing as well as it looks to be doing on the surface, or is it still a struggle?
No. We're doing well, man. We're growing, and no complaints. It's like any business, right? It goes up and booms, and then you stagnate, and then it's boom, and yeah. But no, we're doing well, man. I definitely can't complain.
People can do the research and they can see your story, and obviously they know how you started, and you got the one domino to follow with Richard Branson, which is super cool. But what's part of the story that they don't know around the magazine? What didn't you publish on the site in terms of those early embryonic days?
Yeah, I can talk about that. Are we recording now?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Gee, sorry, I didn't know. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. So what didn't I publish? Oh wow. It's because I'm getting tripped up because I was.
No, maybe I should have said no. We're not recording.
No, it's all good because I was getting tripped up because I was thinking, because you're talking about the podcast, do you want me to talk about what was published on the magazine, what was published on the podcast? Going back to those embryonic days, it's crazy because we get so many pictures now. Like I reckon it's at least 30 to 50 a day now of people wanting to get exposure, wanting to get featured, wanting to do a partnership or some form, something. In those embryonic days, right? Like, it was a struggle. Like, I was struggling to get anybody to show any interest for any kind of exposure, press, interviews, because, that was 7 years ago now, right? 7 years ago, I started Foundr, and podcasts were nowhere near as big as they are today. Like, everyone wants to have a podcast now. I thought that was it, like podcasts are massive, but now it's just like 100x. So what are some of the things that I didn't publish? So here's an interesting thing. We usually take the best interviews for the podcast, and sometimes if they're not solid on the podcast side, we actually don't publish them. And what we do is we still put it in the magazine because we can, we have post editing as a kind of, you can do more with the edit if when it's just because it's a conversation, right? So if it's not a strong conversation, it's not a strong interview, it's not a strong podcast, right? But you can do more once you write the story up, you can do the research, you can craft the message, you can craft the action items, but you can't get people to say action items.
Way back in the day, that you had always thought about it in terms of a digital magazine, perhaps some physical, but in conjunction with a podcast, or did that come later?
Definitely started with the magazine, did the interviews because and captured them because I thought it was really cool that you could read the interview but then also listen to it within the magazine because it was digital.
So to that end, is the podcast, is it different at all from the magazine?
Yes, because we don't just have interviews. Right? So when you think about the magazine, there's many different components to it, right? There's the idea of curation. There's the idea of you can learn X, Y, Z. You can, you can just take half an hour of your day and just consume all this incredible content. And it's a different way of consumption.
But let's stay on the conversation around the magazine for a second. How did you end up getting initial traction?
3 things. The first thing, how we got traction, was we launched on a platform that had buyers, right? Where people were trained to pay for content. You see out there in the marketplace, everyone's like, oh, Amazon, FBA. You don't, you can build a business without marketing in that aspect, right? Second thing was I got very, very good at App Store SEO. So if you searched And still to this day, search for all the biggest business magazines in the States or anywhere, Foundr comes up. And that is because, we got really good at App Store SEO. And then the third thing, I got lucky where, we got the interview with Richard in, I think it was issue number 7, so still quite early days. And I made that free quite strategically, and I put that out everywhere, and that's what we led with.
Did you have to buy the Foundr.com domain, or was that one just available because of the way you spelled it?
I don't think I can talk about this. We didn't sign an NDA, but I'll just keep this person private, confidential. Foundr, our spelling, there was somebody that owned it, and he's a very successful business person, and now probably would be, he's a competitor in our space. Yeah, and anyways, long story short, he owned Foundr.com, not the correct spelling. The people that own Foundr.com correct spelling is like a multi-billion-dollar Chinese company. In the manufacturing space. Yeah, we're never going to get that. So anyways, long story short, I bought the domain off him a few years later for a lot of money. Hey guys, so just did an awesome interview with my friend Steve Olsher from Podcast Magazine. It's funny how things work. I interviewed him at least 3-4 years ago because he started a company called Liquor.com and had a lot of success with that. And he has his own podcast and all sorts of things. And now he's launched a magazine inspired by us at Foundr. And we'll show you a little bit of behind the scenes of that interview and just kind of talk about humble beginnings. So yeah, really good, interesting conversation. He's super smart guy, super successful guy. So the questions that he asks are like really insightful. So you might get to see some things that you might not hear us talk about.
Easy, what's on for the rest of the day?
So I've got to do another interview in 3 minutes with the founder of a dating app called Hinge. I think that's going to be a pretty massive dating app. I'm not in that game, but a lot of friends tell me that it's awesome and that it's a big one. And then go to the office, team lunch, and just tackle the day. We've got a new course launch happening, new course with Damon John called Deal Flow. Make sure you check it out. Maybe we'll put a link in the description below. And pretty much like so many things going on. We've got to move to a new office in the next week or so, which you guys will see as well. And a lot happening there, so much. I can't wait till it's over.
Easy, man. I'm going to get out of here.
Okay, all good. All right, see you later, man.
I'll see you at lunch.
Yeah, I'll see you at lunch.
All right. Thanks, man. See ya.
The Foundr mission is to help you create an ass-kicking business and help you learn straight from the mouths of world-class founders. Get your free printed edition of Foundr magazine featuring Sir Richard Branson. Just cover shipping and handling at foundr.com/Branson.